So we are driving down Route 158 between Salzburg and Hallstatt, and the second lake, oh, it is stunning. We actually stopped here, did an overlook to take pictures. It is just beautiful.
On May 22nd of 2024, we checked out of our short-term rental in Salzburg and drove our rental car to our hotel in Hallstatt, Austria. It's about 46 miles, and you can take either Route 158, the northern route, or A10, the southern route. They both take about an hour and 15 minutes to drive. Well, we chose the northern route because our research indicated it was more picturesque as it went right by 2 lakes and through some picturesque villages. We filmed the entire drive on our GoPro, and you'll see what the route was like. But rather than make you sit through a full hour-and-a-half drive, we sped up significant portions of it to give you a feel for the scenery and what the traffic was like. We'll end the video with some tips on finding parking in Hallstatt, particularly if you're spending the night in a village hotel. There are some things you'll want to consider. I love to travel, I love fashion, and hubby is a bit of a photography buff. So as we enter our golden years, we're combining those 3 loves and producing these videos. Hopefully we'll give you a few tips, reviews, or maybe some sage advice. Who knows? All we know is we're having fun making memories along the way. Welcome to Traveling with 904 Style. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I love fashion. Driving in Salzburg, Austria was interesting and a little bit more challenging than we expected for a city with a population of around 150,000. It's about the same size as Peoria, Illinois, Savannah, Georgia, or Tempe, Arizona. I guess it's just that it was different, as you had to navigate bike lanes, dedicated city bus lanes, and a lot of areas with no road shoulders, making it feel narrower than what we're used to in the U.S. Just watch what's written on the road, especially the word bus, and stay out of that lane. And you better thoroughly understand how roundabouts work. There are a lot of them. Once we got out of the city, the drive was much easier and a bit more leisurely. The climb up into the mountains wasn't as abrupt as we've experienced in other places. There weren't severe switchbacks. It was a bit more of a gradual ascent, but you definitely knew the elevation was changing as our ears popped a couple of times. While we used Waze to navigate on our trip, we learned not to fully trust what Waze said, but rather to look at the map and follow the lines on the map. There were a few times it said to turn right or left, but the map actually showed going straight a little bit more and then turning. We had to backtrack a couple times when blindly listening to the directions without verifying things with the visual on the screen.
So we've been using Waze during our drive, and interesting to note, it's alerted us about speed cameras in some of these smaller towns. So just be careful when you're driving. Wow, this is gorgeous. And there is the other lake. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Well, missed the parking. That's all right. So we are driving from Salzburg to Hallstatt, and we are driving down Route 158 rather than the interstate, And the reason we chose it is because it's supposed to be one more scenic, but two, you pass two lakes, and this is the second lake. It is stunning. We are here at a scenic overlook. Look for the little blue signs with the P on it and be ready to pull over pretty quick. But stunning.
I would like to point out one thing that you'll notice about our drive. We are on a lot of single lane roads, and as a tourist you like to look a little bit at the scenery, and you might not be paying as much attention to the speed that you're driving, and sometimes you're going a little bit below the speed limit. So try and be courteous when you are driving, and if you have an opportunity to pull over and allow faster vehicles to go by you, then let them blow on past so you can take your time and have a nice leisurely drive on some of these beautiful back roads.
So we're actually stopping to get some gas, and the one thing we're in Hallstatt itself. The one thing I was a little worried about was being able to find parking. Now we are here on a Wednesday. The P2 parking garage is full. There are 85 spots in P1 and there are 67 spots in P4. And what's really nice is as you're coming into town, there's this sign that tells you how many spots are left. We are so close. Right there. Look at that. We are so close.
Now let's talk about parking in Hallstatt. There's really only two lots for parking cars. Lot P3 is for buses only, and Lot P4 is over a 30-minute walk outside of town. So between lots P1 and P2, there's only a total of 440 spaces for a village that gets up to 10,000 visitors per day in high season. Now, while many people arrive by train, ferry, and bus, there's still a substantial amount that day trip by car. Now, Lot P2 only has 140 spaces, and it's primarily for the day trippers. But once it fills up, as it was when we arrived, those people will overflow into Lot P1 with 300 spaces, and that lot is the preferred lot for hotel visitors. There is a free courtesy shuttle bus that runs from Lot P1 into the pedestrian-only areas of Hallstatt to transport the overnight guests with their luggage. And it's as simple as a phone call on the courtesy phone when you arrive to let the driver know that they have a pickup. As of May 2024, it was running between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. The trick is, most hotel check-ins aren't until 3 or 4 p.m., and the chances of finding a parking space will be slim to none. We went to Hallstatt in May, the shoulder season, and on a weekday, expecting it to be less crowded. We arrived at about 11:30 a.m. Lot P2 was already full, and Lot P1 only had 77 spaces left when we entered. By noon, Lot P1 was also full. So any guests arriving closer to their check-in time would have to wait for someone to leave before they could enter. So plan accordingly. So one thing that I forgot to mention about driving in Austria is the fact that you need a vignette. And a vignette is a form of a tax that you have to pay when you drive your car in Austria. And they'll give you a little sticker that you put on the windshield of your car. Now you can buy the vignette at a gas station. We rented our car in Munich, Germany, and we stopped at a gas station just before we crossed the border into Austria. And that's how we purchased our vignette. If you don't have a vignette, the police can pull you over and you will end up with a fine. So I hope you enjoyed this video about our drive from Salzburg to Hallstatt. And I wish we had gotten a little bit more video at the parking lot and the parking garage in Hallstatt, particularly the courtesy phone that you used and how you paid to get out. But you know, we're on vacation, we're having a great time. And believe me, it was seamless. There was a gentleman there when we first drove up. You have any questions, you can ask him and he will direct you and he will help you. There's a little building that was straight ahead, and that building is actually on the outside of it is where the courtesy phone is that you call for the hotel shuttle. The hotel shuttle's only a small van. And when you pay to leave, if you're in the parking garage, I would actually come up to the ground level first, park your car there, and then pay at the building to get out. You pay at the building, you do not pay at the actual entrance gate. And it's easy. The people were wonderful and it was great. Welcome to Traveling with 904 Style. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I love fashion.